80 years ago, when the Union Pacific Big Boys were still in regular service on the Union Pacific, one of them, 4019, wore smoke deflectors as an experiment by the Union Pacific. However, it was eventually determined that the use of smoke deflectors on the Big Boys weren't necessary, and ultimately, most of the Big Boys ran without smoke deflectors. But this year, the Union Pacific Steam Team decided to do a temporary historical tie-in on the sole operating Big Boy 4014 and added smoke deflectors on the side. The 4014 would make a run with these smoke deflectors on September 30th and October 1st, providing rail fans and the general public an opportunity to see 4014 in a new look. And I was one of those rail fans who saw 4014 with the smoke deflectors in Greeley, Colorado. This is the passenger depot at Greeley, Colorado. Unfortunately, it has not seen regular passenger train service since 1997 when the Pioneer last ran through Greeley. I pray that the passenger depot will eventually see regular passenger train service once again, but only God knows if that'll happen. In the meantime, while I wait for the Big Boy to pass through, what appears to be a local freight passes through Greeley. As the clock reached 12 noon, people already began arriving to see the Big Boy.
Do you want us to have someone calm us around?
Hopefully you're smart enough to stop and shut it down.
Sure, get over here and take pictures, guys.
I meant with the train.
With the train.
How about you?
Surprised you're in AAA. AAA is the best.
Somebody actually asked me if I work for a newspaper. My only answer to that is, I wish. Honestly, given my DSLR camera skills, I wonder if I could work for some news company. In addition, before the Big Boy arrives, the director of the Colorado Model Railroad Museum gives us some information about the Big Boy, and we also asked some questions.
And it's really hot, right? And for your safety, UP needs us 25 feet back. But the locomotive is going to stop right here in this intersection, and they're going to be doing some work on it. It's really fascinating. You're going to hear a pneumatic tool That's pushing solid grease into some bearings where those big rods that go around. So they'll be doing that work, and then they're going to do some greasing, some liquid grease. You'll see them doing that. And you'll just see some crew running around the locomotive. So we give them space to do it, and you get to watch them work. So yeah, they'll be here for like 15, 20 minutes maybe doing that work. During that time, the locomotive might move once. So they blow a whistle. They'll blow two, they'll move about 8 feet, and they'll stop because those rods have to move so they can grease one more place. So don't think it's leaving on that first short move. And then once the crew is called in with some whistles, then they'll be ready to go, and you'll know. So there'll be a move in the middle, so just be prepared for that. And then when they leave, they'll have 2 whistles, and you'll know because the crew's all on board. Any questions?
We have a question?
The question is, how much pressure is in the locomotive? Anybody know the answer to the boiler pressure of the big boy?
Something a little under 400 psi. Yeah, I haven't played Train Simulator for a bit.
Under 400? I think it's right around 300.
The answer is right around 300. It might be exactly 300. I'm not exactly sure on that, but I know it's close to 300.
Any other questions? Yeah. They're not a team. I'll answer.
The question is, there are 8 of these left. Why don't they all run? And the answer to that is they're on display. They're on display around the country. I have a big boy checklist. If you guys ever want to know, I can tell you where they are, and you can do a bunch of travel and vacation and go check off seeing all the big boys. But 8 of them were saved of the 25 that were built, and 4014 is the only one restored and that runs. So, good question.
Yeah.
The question is, how do you turn the train around, or the locomotive? They can turn this locomotive on what's called a turntable in Cheyenne. If it's only the locomotive, they can spin it. It's big enough. Otherwise, they take a Y, which is where a track goes off, and then you have to back up and turn around like a 3-point
These
track.
locomotives were,
So they'll do
hence
that in
why
Denver
they can't
tonight.
operate.
Good question. Other questions? Yeah.
Is it true that the big boy now has smoke deflectors?
The question is, does the big boy have smoke deflectors on it? How many of you have seen the big boy before? Raise your hand if you've seen it before. Oh, that's only less than half the crowd. So you guys might not notice, but it has something different on it today, which are called smoke deflectors at the very front of the locomotive. These shiny panels up at the top, that's new. That was put on there this week, so you're the first to see it out on the road.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I have to make one more announcement. We're closing the sidewalk now, so you better be moving if you want to be on the other side.
Here he comes! It's now 12:45 and the big boy is arriving into Greeley.
Get knocked out by the gate.
Still have preparation. Still have the necessary preparations for walking in Tokyo in rush hour. Oh, hell yeah!
beautiful. Look at all the cars back there.
Since the big boy is stopped, the crew begins greasing the big boy, a process that had to be repeated so many times because if you didn't grease a locomotive frequently, well, let's just say that things could go very wrong from there. The constant greasing ultimately became a major factor in why every steam locomotive across the country and eventually the world was replaced with diesels. This ultimately became a major factor in why every steam locomotive across the country and eventually the world was replaced with diesels and, in some occasions, electrics. Yeah, the 4014 was converted to oil firing. And this time it was successful. They actually did try converting one of the big boys to oil when it was in regular service, but that wasn't successful. This time it was, though. Also, if you're wondering why these kinds of locomotives don't run on regular service anymore, you're looking at it right now. These locomotives were so labor intensive, and also you needed both water and coal and some kind of fuel source.
How often do they have to do the...
Yeah, water and oil. The diesels only need diesel fuel, so that's why eventually all the steam locomotives just vanished.
Oh, they're greasing the wheels.
Yes.
How often do they have to grease the wheels?
Usually every 100 to 150 miles. If you got lazy and you decided, I'll go a couple 100 miles before greasing them, then you'd probably be having to fix the locomotive.
Are you going to post all your pictures?
Yes. I have a YouTube channel. Yeah.
What is it?
Harrison of Colorado.
Harrison in Colorado?
Yes.
Alright, well look, that'd be great.
I also just started making a series about locomotives that were owned by the Denver and Rio Grande Western.
I can imagine. Oh, with some big wheels.
Next time I'm gonna have to bring a hard out between that.
They just walk right up to it.
Walk right around there. Then like I'm giving
Probably
orders.
good. You do it with enough confidence, you just might be able to do it.
Good for that.
I took this photo anticipating that I'd leave the big boy at that crossing and head to another crossing down the line where I'd record the big boy again. I unfortunately could not find the lift and missed the lift, so I decided to stay.
Yeah, I didn't like taking the route.
Excuse me?
Behind the big boy is UP4404, an SD70M type locomotive built in June of 2001. By 1:12, the departure of the big boy was imminent, and I decided to position myself in a decent spot so that I could see the 4014 depart Greeley. Is it time? Yep, it's time. Eyeball. Wheel slip. Although the 4014 had departed, a freight train was also going to pass through, so railroad police had to tell people to stay away from the tracks.
Really do. Yeah.
It's crazy. You almost hear the as it gets further.
Yeah.
The bell too. That was
Stupid ass.
Everyone starts booing as it rolls in. I'm actually hauling cargo in this thing.
Someone's gotta keep
Whatever.
the country running.
Listen to him.
I would hurry up and get my Tesla on time. I ordered it 100 weeks ago. Nothing to say. You get to see everything get held up. Yeah, what if like all the steam and they like, you know, when they stop the steam to get the power, also it's like everything falls apart. Oh, wheels start shooting off, people are getting shrapnel everywhere. Like, oh my god, it's fantastic!
This is the worst event we're at.
Wait, what's the other one? 40, no, that's 4014.
This is 4011. Fun fact is actually fun fact. It's so quiet. It's probably just I
Before I took off back to Fort Collins, a set of diesels would pass through.
Okay. Alright, let me see.
Very cool. I started getting good video and tried to zoom out and zoomed in. That's right as it's passing. I zoomed in on the wheels and then
Yeah, the problem is if you're not 25 feet back, you just toss them on the side for now.
yeah. I got some good shots. I'll have to watch the video out of the sun.
She only wants like
That video I got it coming up before I got into the crowd. And I just walked down and I stood over here. Got some good stills at the front of it. I was right across behind him. I was a little further down. I was just behind him. Yeah, I saw you.
That was scary. I thought
When I was down there, this guy took his family
and John tapped me on the shoulder and he's like, go over there and talk. I'm like, okay. So I ran up